Here we go, I've got one of these. I made one again as usual. I made one probably as a teenager, and I really enjoyed it. So this is a slightly different version. I do like this vehicle, and it seems a really interesting and novel series of solutions to a whole bunch of problems. It seemed to work very well. So this is a good one. I hope I make it okay. Don't lose anything. First bit is worth pointing out. I've done it very dark, and I'm going to make the whole thing in this dark grey shade, and then I'm going to lighten it up and highlight it so it gets more towards the paler grey. So this is the underside. Here's the main bits of the chassis kind of thing, and it looks like it'll all go on nice and smartly. And there's the sort of main shell done. I've done all the underside stuff, which is pretty straightforward. Not too many parts, not too many fiddly bits, it all went together. I think I've bent a hook, but never mind. And there it is, just got to put all the lids and flaps and various bits and pieces on. So I'm going to do the wheels last because the black paint on the tyres isn't quite dry. And that's pretty much the main superstructure done, with the main bits and pieces stuck on. It's fiddly little bits, or bits that I don't want to spray, that are to be put on later. And there it is, looking very sort of 1930s-ish. I can see a 1930s car coming out of this already. It's looking good in my opinion. Sort of virtually there already. Really quick and easy model to make. So I brought it outside to have a quick look, see how things are going, and it's all alright. So I think we're going to finish in a minute. And suddenly it was done. It was one of those things where you kind of needed to get the bits done and couldn't stop for a moment. And then I went and got on with some weathering. Just some sort of dust and maybe a bit of chalk. And so there it is. It is a good, typical Tamiya model, I have to say. It is really good, and all the little bits of baggage and so on do add a little something to it. And I often worry that I overload things, or in the past, I overload things with baggage and stuff, but if they're providing you with it, then it must be right, mustn't it? The blame doesn't lie with me. It compares very nicely as a model, and as generally as a vehicle, to the British Daimler Scout car that I recently did. So these kind of match each other. What is very interesting is they almost have a stealth quality about them, with all the very angular armour. And that's a very interesting sort of series of design concepts that they're dealing with. What's interesting is kind of follow that up with the T-34 with all the sloped armour. Just a little less complicated. I will admit I do like these simple vehicles, and it must take a lot of nerve, not just to drive around in one of these, that's not the problem, but to do what they had to do, which is go way ahead. I think I brought that up in the Daimler one, but you know, these people had guts. Can you imagine it? Still, makes a fine model. As always, the question has to be, did it go together well? Yes, it did. Were there any serious flaws? No. No great gaps or anything like that. So that's all good. So it's another one to thoroughly enjoy. I wish I'd made it in sand colour now. So maybe I'll have to buy another one. What a shame that would be, eh? Terrible business. Nice bits of baggage. And I said it before, but actually they work well on the model. It's all successful, I think we can say. And hopefully I haven't overdone it with the weathering. You just never really know, do you? But I think we're all right with this one. So yeah. What if the Germans had invaded Scotland? Might look a bit like that. Can't see the Scots putting up with it for long though. Mind you, that could be a German tower. Nothing to say it isn't. There we are, driving out through Bavaria. Bavaria? Those still shots look like night time. That's an idea, isn't it? Well, here we are, out at night, spotlit. I don't know why, but you see it in films and things, don't you? Bit of atmosphere, why not? So here's our little vehicle out on patrol, engine off, lights off, having a listen. Makes me realise I haven't got a clue what armies actually get up to most of the time. There's that thing that says it's something like warfare is 90% boredom, 10% sheer terror. And you often see all these photographs with stuff clearly going on, but I couldn't tell you what it was. So here's my attempt at recreating that kind of thing. So yeah, as I say, bit of atmosphere. And this leads me to think, hang on, I've still got shots of blown up real tanks. So time for another one of those little films, I think. Number 2 of probably 3. So thanks for watching. See you again soon. And then I'll have to make another model.